Hello everyone, and welcome to our second lecture for week 4. In this discussion, we're going to be talking about logic and its fallacies. Now, there are two different kinds of logic, one of which we're probably more familiar with, which is the formal logic that is introduced to us in a beginning philosophy class. However, formal logic has very little to do with use outside of a philosophy class, because it teaches us to scorn public opinion. A plus B must equal C. Facts are facts and truth are truth, and they are unmovable. However, in rhetorical logic, we can see that it can be applied to real-life situations, because it teaches us that what an audience thinks is true is the same thing as truth. Now, the first form of logic we're going to discuss is deductive logic. This moves from the general to the specific, and here you might want to think of an inverted triangle. A classic example of this is all men are mortal, which is the premise or general concept, and Socrates is a man, which is more specific, to the conclusion, which is Socrates is therefore mortal. Inductive logic, or what we might want to call Sherlock Holmes logic, works the opposite way of deductive logic. It moves from the specific to the general. If you recall from the example in the text, Sherlock Holmes uses the appearance of Dr. Watson's boots and the hasty scrapings on them, which are the specific evidence, to deduce that Watson has an incompetent servant and, of course, that the weather is bad outside. A way to employ inductive logic is to either talk about facts, that is what is observable, comparisons, and or stories to use as examples to draw out your logic. Another form of logic is what is called an enthymeme. It's also known as a logical sandwich. And one example of this is, we should do X because of this. So we should vote for this candidate because he or she represents our belief that no one is alone and no one achieves, say, greatness by themselves. So really we employ the enthymeme to put together unfamiliar concepts and make them into familiar concepts using values or belief systems.